Every conversation I have in the field lately sounds the same. You're under pressure to modernize, you're under pressure to get AI ready, but you're being asked to do both without the budget that matches. Hi, I'm Matthew Dietz, and I spend most of my time with architects and IT directors who run the data centers that keep their businesses moving. And I can tell you most of the advice out there doesn't live in your reality. It's written for a data center with zero legacy hardware, without siloed teams, and without a budget conversation attached to it. And that's why we've built the Data Center Lens. This is a video series made to meet you where you are, and not where a marketing brochure says you should be. And I'll never forget an infrastructure director telling me everyone wants to talk to me about AI, but nobody wants to talk to me about the 10-year-old switches I have to rip out first. That conversation is exactly why this series exists. And we're breaking it into two paths. First, the modernize your data center, and second, accelerate AI innovation. You don't have to just pick one. So we're going to help you figure out which one, or both, fits you where you're standing right now. So let's start with the research, because it's easy to misread. The data says most organizations are behind on AI, but that headline is actually misleading. This isn't an AI problem. It's an infrastructure debt problem. And the infrastructure debt problem comes with symptoms that are familiar to anyone running a data center today, from aging hardware that's past its refresh cycle to teams that are siloed by layer, be it networking, compute, storage, or security, and each team containing their own tools and their own blind spots. And then there's management that's fragmented across a half dozen dashboards with configuration drift that's crept in over the years of quick fixes. So let's drop the idea of a moonshot rebuild. Nobody's ripping out their entire data center and starting over this quarter. What we're actually talking about is fixing what's broken and protecting what's already working. So where do you start? It's not with the roadmap that somebody else wrote. We should start with your pain points and where you want to be. And for most teams, the real bottleneck isn't a single layer. It's at the seams. It's the place where networking, compute, and security are supposed to hand off to each other, yet don't. And that's where the outages hide. But this is the idea behind One Cisco. It's a unified visibility and shared management plane across your entire infrastructure, not another dashboard that's bolted on top. So now your teams can be looking at the same data at the same time and can move faster together instead of debugging each other's blind spots. The goal here is simple to say, yet hard to do. Simplify the foundation, so you can stop firefighting and start building. Once that foundation is in view, there are two directions teams tend to head in. And here's how you know which one is yours. Path 1, modernize your data center, is a path for teams that are drowning in complexity or running hardware that's already end of life. The focus here is a strategic refresh, not a rip and replace, but a deliberate plan to retire what's holding you back while keeping what's still earning its place. Alongside that, we're simplifying operations, so your team isn't managing complexity for complexity's sake. The outcome? A stable, unified foundation you can actually build on. And then there's path 2, which is accelerate AI innovation. And this path is for teams where AI isn't on the roadmap anymore, it's already a requirement. Here, the focus shifts to closing the gaps that quietly cap your performance, which are bandwidth, throughput, and fabric architecture. And because AI traffic doesn't behave like traditional traffic, it's east-west, bursty, and it punishes every weak link in the fabric, so we want to take a larger focus in this area. And the outcome? Infrastructure that keeps up with your GPUs instead of throttling them. The most expensive silicon in your data center should never sit idle while waiting on the network. And let me be straight with you. These two paths aren't mutually exclusive. Most of you are doing the same version of both, and at the same time, in different parts of your environment. So we want to use this series like a toolkit. Pick the path that matches the specific facility or project in front of you today, and come back to the other one when you need it. Now for the part I want to be direct about. We didn't design this architecture on a whiteboard and hand it off to you to test. We actually deployed this. We validated it in our own production data centers, running our own workloads. That means we hit the integration gaps that you may be hitting. And we stress tested this internally so you don't have to be the ones finding the cracks in production. This isn't a theory. It's been through the same demanding conditions your environment is running under right now. In one example, earlier in our own build, we made a fabric design decision that looked great on paper and then fell over under real AI traffic patterns. We had to walk it back and redesign. And that lesson is baked into what we'll share with you, and it's the kind of thing that a datasheet will never tell you. So here's what I'd ask you to do. Don't think about your 3-year plan. Instead, think about where your environment is today. If you're fighting complexity or aging hardware, start with the Modernize Your Data Center video path. If you're hitting real limits trying to run AI workloads, start with the Accelerate AI Innovation video path. We built the Data Center Lens because you deserve an honest conversation about this, not another framework promising to solve everything at once. Just a sharper perspective to help cut through the noise. No hype, no pressure, just a clear-eyed look at how to move forward from where you actually stand. And I want to thank you for spending these few minutes with us, because your time is the scarcest resource in the entire conversation, and we don't take that for granted. So we want to present two paths, your environment, so let's get to work.